Matthew continues, and shall cut him asunder. Luke, and will cut him in asunder. Asunder there is underlined and explained as pieces. Matthew, asunder is underlined and explained as into pieces, so it kind of infers that there should be an in. But since asunder could mean into pieces, it would be weird to have them both, into pieces or in asunder. So I'm going to leave off the in. And again, I'll leave the shall from Matthew, but and is both. Cut him asunder is both. Luke continues, and will appoint him his portion with the unbelievers. Matthew, and appoint. No will appoint, just appoint him his portion with the hypocrites, not the unbelievers. So I think in this earlier situation, and will or and appoint, I'm going to leave off the will because that seems unnecessary. It's just becoming more wordy now. He shall come in asunder and will appoint him his portion. I think it'll flow a little better without it. It would read like this. The Lord of that servant will come in a day when he looks not for him, and at an hour when he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder and appoint him his portion. Yeah, we don't need all the wills, the shalls. I have to have one earlier. But here I think I can leave it out since Matthew has none. And appoint him his portion with thee. All those words are in Luke. Matthew, however, has him in italics, so I'll say this him is only Luke. With the hypocrites or the unbelievers. Okay, this gets into a doctrinal disagreement. Maybe I could put both. Yeah, I am going to put both. I'm just going to have to take an and from earlier. I'll take the and from and appoint him. I'll just take that from Luke, so this one will be only Matthew. Now I have an and. So should it be hypocrites and unbelievers, or unbelievers and hypocrites? The first one and the last one always have added emphasis compared to those in the middle, but since there's only two, they would be somewhat even. Now, however, I think the first one would have more emphasis. And in my opinion, it's worse to be a hypocrite than an unbeliever. So I'm going to put hypocrites first. That and from Luke that I took out from earlier. And this just has to be done. I know it's not in that order, but it's far better to include both because they do mean separate things than to only have one because I like it more. That's the end of that verse in Luke. Matthew has an added conclusion. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth. So I'll add that. And that is the end of the chapter in Matthew. Chapter 25 goes on to say, Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened to 10 virgins. That's a change. Luke, however, has more verses that are in line with what was just said. 47, And that servant which knew his Lord's will and prepared not himself, neither did according to his will, shall be beaten with many stripes. That seems to be right along with this unfaithful steward who was beating the fellow menservants and maidservants. And then after that, But he that knew not, and did commit things worthy of stripes, shall be beaten with few stripes. For whomsoever much is given, of him shall much be required, and to men that have committed much, of him will they ask the more. That sounds like a conclusion to this parable in its entirety. The steward was given a lot of responsibility, and did well, is given more, or if he's done poorly, will be punished. So these two verses I'll include here. And finally, one last mention. In Mark, at the Olivet Discourse, the very last verse was, "And what I say to you, I say to all, watch." That could fit here, because it's the end of his parables telling the disciples to pay attention, keep on the straight and narrow, don't become lazy, do a good job while your king is away. I didn't want to have it earlier, because if I put it at pretty much any of the earlier places, "Watch you therefore and pray always, that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man," I could then have, "And what I say to you, I say to all, watch." But later on, Peter asks, "Lord, speak you this parable to us or even to all?" And if Jesus had just said, "What I say to you, I say to all," that would make Peter's question completely pointless. If these parables do belong here, which I think they do, since Matthew 24 has this exact parable of the faithful steward, I think this statement from Jesus, "What I say to you, I say to all, watch," should come after Peter's question. So now that I have the entirety of Jesus' response to that question, I'll put the closing statement from Mark. "And what I say to you, I say to all, watch."